Have you ever stopped to think about the word smartphone? At first, it sounds a little strange. How can a phone be smart? It's just a device, right? Yet today, we all use the word naturally without giving it a second thought. But behind that name is a story of technology, marketing, and the way language adapts to new inventions. Let us dig into the history of the smartphone and uncover why we started calling it that in the first place, right here on the History of Things. For decades, the telephone was simply that, a telephone. When Alexander Graham Bell and other inventors introduced early communication devices in the late 19th century, they called it the telephone. Because it literally meant distant sound, coming from the Greek words tele for far and phone for voice. For nearly a century, phones had one job: to transmit voices across distances. That changed in the 20th century with the arrival of mobile phones. Suddenly, people could call each other without being tied to a landline. It was revolutionary, but these devices were still just phones. Their primary purpose was to make calls, and eventually, send short text messages. Then came the turning point. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, companies started experimenting with phones that could do much more. Devices like the BlackBerry, Palm Pilot, and Nokia Communicator combined calling with email, calendars, and even basic web browsing. These all-in-one devices were often called PDAs, personal digital assistants, and they became the ancestors of what we now know as smartphones. The word smartphone itself first appeared in the mid-1990s. One of the earliest examples came from AT&T in 1995 when they marketed a device called the Phone Writer Communicator. They described it as a smartphone because it could handle more than just voice, it could manage data and act like a mini computer in your pocket. Around the same time, the tech world was already using smart to describe advanced features, like smart cards or even smart bombs. So calling a phone smart was a natural step, a way of saying this isn't just a phone, it's something more intelligent. In 2000, Ericsson released the R380, one of the first devices officially marketed as a smartphone. By combining the functions of a PDA with a mobile phone, it was different enough that it needed its own category. The word caught on, and soon, smartphone became the way to distinguish these advanced devices from basic cell phones, sometimes even jokingly called dumb phones. But the real breakthrough came in 2007 with the launch of Apple's iPhone. Apple didn't invent the smartphone, but it made the concept mainstream. Interestingly, Apple didn't rely on the term smartphone in its marketing. They called the iPhone a revolutionary internet communicator. Still, the public and the press naturally called it a smartphone because that's exactly what it was: a powerful handheld computer with phone capabilities. From that moment, the word became universal. So why smart? It's less about intelligence in the human sense and more about versatility. A basic flip phone could only call and text. A smartphone could run apps, browse the web, organize schedules, take photos, and connect to the digital world in countless ways. The name tapped into cultural excitement about technology becoming more advanced, more capable, and almost human-like. Today, with features like AI assistants, predictive text, facial recognition, and smart photography, the label feels even more accurate. In the end, the word smartphone reflects both a leap in technology and a shift in language. It was a clever way to market devices that were more than phones while also capturing the sense of wonder that came with them. What started as a marketing term in the 1990s is now so natural in our vocabulary that we don't even question it. And while our phones aren't truly conscious, the name smartphone perfectly represents their role as clever companions in our everyday digital lives. So, the next time you hear the word smartphone, remember, it's not just a catchy label. It's just a reminder of how far technology has come and how language helps us make sense of that journey.